Good morning. Just a quick video today to talk about one of the many aspects of the Ripple 2020.world project. This project, above all else, is intended to be modeling. It's an example. Yes, it's an example being executed through me, through the character of Alyson, and by extension, Alyson's network, Alyson's, it is Alyson's project, but it is a project. One of the tabs on the website that I need to add is going to be one that's called underlying assumptions. The underlying assumptions that I'm making with regards to this project. Perhaps the biggest underlying assumption that I am making is that we are, in fact, the planet, and by extension, all of Earth's inhabitants are going through a massive transformation where the systems of old are in the process of collapsing and changing, and what, for lack of a better way of calling it, the new Earth is emerging. Now, you can go ahead and believe that that's all airy-fairy, and that's fine. But there is a choice point. There is a choice. And each of us as human beings are making a free will choice right now. There are, if we want to oversimplify it, two timelines, two options you've got. You can continue with the changes that are going on, which are only going to get more impersonal, less human, more technological, more digital. There's nothing, it's less human. It's less human. That's where the current system in its collapse and the revamps coming within the system of that is headed. You can choose that, and there's no wrong choice here. There is another option. There is another option. But the other option is one that we have not seen in mass on this planet. An option that is a system, a world, and so by extension, interactions within that world based in very different energies than the current world, the current mainstream, and I would argue increasingly chaotic, collapsing world where fear dominates. Fear, lack, and competition. The new earth is dominated by love, cooperation, and abundance. And it's not airy fairy unicorns, all unicorns and rainbows, but it is a very, very different way of interacting when those energies serve as the foundation. Our current world doesn't have, it's a fear-based world. Somebody like me, I can't breathe in this world in a way like I can't shine my brightest light and be who I am fully, not even close, in a world that is run by materialism, that is run by hierarchy and labels, that is all about making something appear. It's how you make it appear on the surface, not about what it really is, where there's bigger is better. It's less and less human. It's just the list goes on and on. Where when in order to do business, you're not supposed to be transparent. You got to pretend everything is harder than it really is. It's just none of it allows me to shine. And I'm not looking to shine to be seen. I'm just looking to be out in the world what I want to be and what I'm able to be. I need a playing field. Selfishly, that is what this project, that's why I'm doing this project. Yes, it's going to benefit me because it's going to finally create a playing field, at least that's the intention, where, because I can't go play the new game by myself. And everybody wants to run their mouth and bitch and moan about how shitty everything is and how chaotic it is and how crazy it is and the leadership, blah, 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 blah. And people are looking within that system and to those same mechanisms for the solution. I will come back to one of my favorite quotes, Albert Einstein. You cannot solve problems from the same level of consciousness that created them. You have to see the world anew. I'm higher up in the tree. I am in a higher branch and I can see a lot more. And no longer am I agreeing to take all the criticism and all the things that people tell me why this can't work that are in the lower branches of the tree. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to be better than you being up in the tree, but I am higher in the tree, metaphorically. I have a different view. You want to come up here and look at the view with me and then give your opinion, okay, but I am not going to settle any longer for believing that I can't create with others a playing field of life, not just business, of life that is representative of the energy that is essentially at the essence of everything, which is love. And again, that's not soft and feminine and hippy dippy and pie in the sky. It's truth. It's truth. And so this is what I think it can look like. This idea, this is what it can look like. It's using the systems of old, but I'm not doing anything illegal within the systems. Now, it is not easy to navigate the systems when there's no humans to even guide you, because if you're doing something in a different way, the first thing everybody wants to do is run from you because they don't understand it. I have had a lifetime of being completely misunderstood. And for most of this lifetime, certainly in my adulthood, I have just continued to play small and not fully step into who I am, what my capabilities are, and what I know to be true. And now I have 13 and a half years of lessons since I first took this leap of faith to try to manifest this vision that is so clear in my mind's eye and clear in my heart. I see a world based in those energetic foundations. It involves the same settings, the same characters, just living from abundance, love, and cooperation. But here's the kicker. Not a lot of people know how to live with those energies because we have been so mass conditioned to be afraid of everything, least of which to be afraid of something that you don't understand. Okay? So huge, 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 huge. Just to say it, that's what I'm here. This is a model. And the model is through the character of Alyson, through my network. The beneficiaries that I am inviting to be part of this project are people that go back all the way throughout various times in my lifetime. And a huge element, therefore, of this project is a vouching. There is a vouching process. There is yeah, I'm not afraid to stand near. When I first was doing this 13 and a half years ago, nobody could stand near me. It was too scary. My family thought I needed to be committed. What I was doing, the words they may have sounded pretty good. They were resonating with people, but I didn't have anything yet to show. And in this transition, we're moving from a world where seeing is believing into a world where you have to believe and then you see it. But I couldn't bank on that. I thought that at least my family and close friends who knew me could give me the benefit of the doubt 13 and a half years ago, but they couldn't. And that's okay. Because as it turns out, I had a lot more learning to do. I had a lot more healing to do. I had a lot more maturing to do. But now I have taken care of myself in this old world. I own my home. The only debt I have is my mortgage. I have a year of my bare minimum saves expenses in savings to cover myself as I once again fully step into manifesting this dream and this vision. I have a perfect 850 credit score. I will not play small now that I have substantial credentials in this existing world. And I've had a business that I've been running. I am solid in this world to give myself the credibility. I'm not some airy-fairy spiritual person who's not able to care for herself. And I'm not judging. I'm not judging artists or spiritual people, but a lot of those people that see and can resonate with what I'm talking about when I talk about the new earth and who can believe that we really can do things really, really differently. A lot of those people don't manage well in this old world. This is not an easy world to take care of yourself in. It's not an easy world to be your unique self. It's not an easy world to be pursuing your unique piece of the human puzzle in a world where they're trying to roboticize us all and make all of our paths look the same. It's gotten harder and harder and harder in recent decades. And so now, while I have some credentialed things, if people want to say, I'll be part of her project, I'll donate to her project, it's a little bit less scary, but I'm still triggering a lot of people. I don't want to, I don't like to, but that's just part of the role right now, is to stand up and just basically say, hey, I don't even want to hyper criticize the old. I just want to be the new, be the change. From moment one, my company that I had to establish in the old world. I'm a legal company in the old world. And I had to create a business around this idea, which was incredibly challenging in the first place, right? But I am a legal business in this idea, but I began it very consciously with pay it forward investments into others, with the underlying assumption that helping somebody else is helping me. We are in this together. But this is an and both time. And we've been conditioned very well to be on one side of the spectrum or the other. We have no idea how to be in the middle. We have no idea. It's one side or the other. We don't do well yet with and both. And this is a and both time. But I started the company of me with pay it forward investments. And of course it went sideways. Of course it did. It was innocent and it was naive and it was not yet full of wisdom. I didn't have any conditions on the people I gave money away to start my company. I mistakenly believed that we were all on the same page. It was wild how far off I ended up being, but there has never been a regret, ever been a regret. Because ultimately, with the investments in others, I was investing in me. I was investing in me. But now it's time for people to say, can you vouch? As a beneficiary, that's a big, hey, listen, to stand by me as a beneficiary in this project, that's no small thing. Beneficiaries aren't going to lose any money. Any gift that the beneficiary gets, part of the instruction is that part of that money that they receive is to be set aside for taxes. It is not intended to cost the beneficiaries anything to be a part. All they need to do is be able to keep their word for how I will speak to each beneficiary. There's a relationship there, one-on-one, what is going to be done with their part of the money when this gets off the ground. That's the only thing they have to do. And with the beneficiaries that I'm asking, I'm not picking strangers off the street. There is a very, very real assessment of energy taking place. And by extension, there is already some vouching going on in terms of my first official beneficiary is a powerful educator. Her school that she's starting is called the Synergy Center. And she has a girlfriend that I haven't yet met, but her, because of the extent to which I connect with her, and by the way, I go back with her all the way to middle school. I know this woman's character going all the way back to when she was 11 and I was 12 at Central Middle School in Plymouth, Michigan. Her vouching for another person to be a part of this project as a beneficiary is enormous. And I absolutely can trust that connection. Similarly, that's what I'm banking on. when I ask for people's $2 donation and their willingness to invite 4 people in their life to be part of the project, to donate $2 and then to spread it to 4 other people. That's the simple ask. $2 and spread the word to 4 people that you really think will participate and take just that bit of ownership. This is a model to show how new systems, new ways of interacting can happen worldwide, but we have to start with ourselves and then slowly through what we know best. What we know best. And it's a vouching. I don't need you to agree with how I'm seeing things, but especially to people that know me. I will say this. It says a lot more about people who know me that are not willing to make a $2 donation and to stand behind me. It says a lot more about them than it says about me if they're not willing, knowing who I am. Knowing who I am. If you've ever crossed paths with me with any length of time, you know who I am. I have a YouTube channel of 13 and a half years of me speaking about this. I'm asking for $2 and a spreading and to be willing to say to 4 people in your network, hey, there might be something to this. There might be something to this. I don't know. I don't really get her. I don't really, I don't know that I agree. I don't really get it entirely. But I know this woman enough to know I think she deserves a shot. I think she merits $2 and the spreading of the word. That's my belief with all I've done for people, for their businesses, for their ideas, and been in their corner my whole life. I've never made an ask. And this is my ask. And we'll see. We'll see who and how it spreads. But I know that even if this project, in this 4th iteration, but it'll be the first time it really substantially gets off the ground for an honest assessment, even if it's just half successful, which I'm not quite sure how you would even assess that, right? Even if it was only 50% successful, there's just no way this doesn't serve as a powerful example of what is possible. There's just no way. And we have such power that is untapped within us, within our own networks. There's more efficiency and effectiveness in a society when things are direct. There's so much middleman. There's so many middle companies. There's so much now technology where you can't even get a human. And even if you get a human within the systems aren't designed to encourage us to be sovereign, unique individuals. And we're both. We are both a sovereign, unique individual, and we're part of the oneness. I know that seems paradoxical. That can't be possible. That's what the definition of a paradox is. Two seemingly things that can't go together are going together. We are both. We are unique expressions. I am uniquely Alyson in this life. But the essence of Alyson is my soul. And if we follow the family tree, and yes, I put that piece of my art very specifically behind me. If we follow the metaphorical family tree all the way up, we all come from the same source energy. We are one. We are one. And we're also unique. And what I'm trying to demonstrate with this project is what albeit mini world, right? What they can look like when we honor the uniqueness of one another, when we honor and give one another the benefit of the doubt, when we take one another at our words, and when we have the courage to stand by one another. Who's got the courage to live love as opposed to hiding in all the ways the society allows us to hide behind the games of fear? This is a love-based game. And trust me, there is plenty of room for all of us to play and to be able to be out here living and thriving instead of being enslaved and barely surviving and having seemingly no control. We have a ton of control, but it starts inside with us and it starts small. So be a part. Be a part. I'm telling you, this is going to be something to witness. I am humbled and honored to be the conduit, and I am stepping all the way into this. Like I haven't made a step like this since 2013 when I first launched everything, and I was so innocent and pure and naive with much more wisdom, much more strength, much more healing done. I stand here and I will be stepping all the way. I'm seeing this all the way through. And however spirit, source, God has it intended to come out and play out, I am going to continue to step through every bit of it because there's no way that this doesn't have a ripple effect in not just my life. Obviously, it's the beneficiaries, it's the energy. It's all about the energy. And the investment in the beneficiaries is an investment in a different energy. And it's like breathing life into a model, an example of what a system based in love, trust, cooperation, and belief in one another, not trying to knock one another down and work against one another because we're fighting because we're based in lack and competition. It's a completely different world, but we've got to bridge. We're the same characters. Character, when you've got your fear lens on, the world looks very different. Decisions look different. People look different than when you have the love lens on. Dot, period. So bounced around a little because it's been a minute since I've been doing recordings, and now it's really time to speak again. And I am not speaking to hear myself talk. I am bringing voice to this vision that I see, I feel. It's like I've been there, man. A different aspect of my soul has existed in a reality that is based in love. This isn't the only show in town. We're not the only place where life exists in the universe, for God's sake. Like, there's other places. We're the show, we're the greatest show in the universe right now because of the extent to which we have collectively agreed to a reality that is exactly opposite of what the greater truths are. So it's time to talk again. And it's going to take me a minute to weave all the pieces together to get it a little bit more focused because there's a lot to say when you're going to be basically painting a whole new version of the world, all the different systems from a different energy foundation. There's plenty to say, but I'm really working to show it more than to say it. But right now, I gotta bring voice to it. I gotta bring a lot more voice to it as it begins to build momentum with beneficiaries and donors. And I will be doing a weekly report on the website. The website's still got about 40% to do, ripple2020.world. And I don't know where I'm gonna put this video. I don't know if it'll be on Patreon or YouTube. I don't even know if I'm gonna put the whole thing out. I want to say I don't really care. It's just I've got to I'm working to hone in on the message and to find a flow of the talking again, to balance with all the work I'm doing in recruiting the recruiting the beneficiaries and continuing to put all the work in on the nuanced aspects of how to handle the transactions. When it comes, I feel like it's going to come fast. And that's why I want to be ready. I want to be all the way ready because, listen, word can spread very, very quickly. Word can spread and will spread very quickly when the right ears receive this, when the right eyes see it, when people that really have had enough and really what risk do you have at $2? What risk is there to give $2 and then just to witness? There's not much risk. There's not much risk. I don't know that you can call that any risk other than the risk of being anywhere near associated with me. And it's funny, when I'm serving other people, everybody's got no problem with me coming and working with them and being part of their projects. But in the short times, the few times I've asked for participation and help or assistance in mine, it's a little bit of a different story. So, and I finally have gotten to the place where I'm not going to take it personally. I'm shining a bright light. And so, if you're near me, there's going to be a lot of light. And if people are living in ways that, if they haven't faced their shadows, they don't want light around them. I've done a lot of shadow work, tons and tons and tons of shadow work. I'm very familiar with my dark and my shadows. And I'm not intending to shine bright, to shine light on other people's shadows, but it seems in some of the hardest lessons I've learned that that's the invariable effect. And it has come at great pain to me because I'm never trying to hurt those that are close to me ever. And it's been a lifetime of learning just learning enough about myself to understand that that's what's happening in a lot of situations is people get too close and they want the positives of what it is to be close to a bright light as like me, but they don't want the negatives, and the negatives are, you don't get to shine bright if you're not equally examining the shadows. The shadows aren't bad. The dark's not bad. It's the wholeness of who we are. And why do we have to pretend like we're all not human? Like what are we trying to pretend? We all have shadows. We all have imperfections. We all have things we wish we hadn't done. We've all had people that we've inadvertently hurt or directly hurt. We all have those dark things. It's changing the focus and changing the perspective and changing the energy. So, if you're with me, it's going to be a ride. And if you're not, that's okay. I don't take it personally. But I am going to be talking. And I'm going to be perfecting this and weaving it together through my podcast, through my artwork, through my book, through my workshops, through my speaking. It's all coming together and it's pinnacling and it's all serving Ripple2020.world. That project represents the oneness. All the other pieces are me, are my unique character, my unique gifts, my unique ideas. And I cannot put all of that into the old systems that serve nothing but fear and competition and separation. I have to take the best of me and serve the new. And the only way that I could do that was to create the playing field myself. And by extension, there's now a playing field for others. So when it comes down to it, it's a simple question. Who wants to play? Who wants to play with me on my field? It's a big field, but you can't bullshit. You can't come into my field with naysaying and pointing out and telling me all the reasons it can't work and pointing out all the things to be afraid of. You can't come play in my field. You can't come play in my field with that. You got to come in my field with personal accountability, personal responsibility, emotional maturity, and a heart that is open. And unfortunately, right now, that's a tall ask. That's a tall ask. Because there's a lot of angry people, there's a lot of closed hearts, and there's a lot of division, and there's a lot of what I'll call fake unity. Doesn't matter. The titles, the labels. Treat somebody as it's the golden rule. Treat someone like you want to be treated. Treats, it's the golden rule. So it's the new multi-dimensional game of life on the new earth. The energies are here, and I'm playing with them. And I'm playing with them at the level I'm capable of. And it's time to show that in a more visible way. And I'm not accepting anybody throwing shit my way. It's going to bounce right off of me and go right back to you if you're just listening to throw shit at me and tell me all the things. Get ready to feel it come right back to you because I'm not accepting. I'm not accepting that this can't work when I've seen the transformation in my own life and in my own relationships, most notably with my parents, most notably with my mom and dad. My mom and dad, after a lifetime of pain, my relationship with each of them, my mom and my dad are in my corner. They're in my corner. And I'll tell you what, that's amazing. And I'm just so grateful they're still alive and they're still on the planet. And this project is as much about how they raised me. It has got equal parts of my mom's morality and the religious moral part where she's like, God gave you gifts. You owe it to society to use those gifts. And my mom's impeccable word, trust. My mom, it really hard to be raised by a perfectionist, Catholic perfectionist, let me tell you, who doesn't really she doesn't take any risks. Mom's life is, salt of the earth. But I scared the shit out of my mom. And I scared the shit out of my dad too. And my dad raised us in Detroit to have the utmost empathy for particularly the Black American struggle. My dad raised us to change the world. He really did. Little did I know that in order to change the world, all I needed to do was go within and heal. And as I healed, my world changed. And that's all we can ever change. The world doesn't need me to change it. The world needs me to be me. The world needs us all. All it needs is for us to be unafraid, to be authentically who we are. And my dad, he was an accountant. He raised me to respect the dollar. But simultaneously, I have two of the most non-materialistic parents in the world. So I have no connection to material things. None. No connection to material things or a bunch of money in the bank or a bunch of titles. It makes me equally powerful and threatening. But the fact that my parents are alive and in my corner and in a place where I can tell them, Mom, Dad, this project is getting off the ground this time. And it is as much you as it is me. That's fucking fantastic. So, who wants to play? Have a good day.